This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive away in a new Integra. Only $299 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Blink, be the maestro of your own home.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive away in a new ADX. Only $299 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
The Sultan's choice for excitement and a caravan of savings awaits at Toyota of Hollywood. Your wish for savings has been granted with discounts of up to $4,500. Take a magic carpet ride in a Toyota Corolla. Not $24,000, $19,988. Step into our Grand Bazaar where you'll find epic savings at the #1 volume Toyota dealer, Toyota of Hollywood, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Before you buy or lease.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt & Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt & Rayom can help.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive away in a new ZDX. Only $459 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The game is final. Tua and the boys are in the locker room. Let's go over what happened in this game in our Dolphins post-game show with Big O. The post-game show is brought to you by Welt & Rayom, Acura of Pembroke Pines, Hialeah Park Casino, Toyota of Hollywood, RM Contractors. The stats are final. The insiders are ready. The platform is mastered by the one and only Sean Stanley. Now, let's find out what the Big O thinks about this matchup as we start our Dolphins post-game show. Here's Big O.
Bobby. Wow, that is a performance that we get to bottle up. We get to enjoy because it is obviously the best performance of the year. A complete performance by the team. They played really well overall. They dominated the Bills from beginning to end. They dominated, and even, leading, what was it, 16-0, right? At halftime, we led 17-0 a few weeks back, and you saw what happened. So you were still wondering, okay, is this real in the second half? And it was real. Even that last score, they had that bullshit penalty on Chubb that helped them keep that drive alive. If not, that thing ends. They don't even get those cheap 7 points that they got there too. Dolphins dominated. The defense dominated. The offense played well. Mike McDaniel coached a good game, dude. If you do it right, you get the credit on the show. If you don't do it right, like he does most of the time, you don't get. Like even in this last drive, he ran. I know Achane broke it for a touchdown, but on that third down, you and I know they get a little cutesy and then they go for a pass, and you incomplete, and then Bills don't use their last time out. That kind of shit. No, he called another run play, and I was like, wow, man. Wow, Mikey, you learned, bro. You learned. Holy shit, you use Ingold on a short yardage play, not like on a 20-yard, in cut. That wow, smart. Way to go. It was a pleasure to watch. It was a lot of fun. It was shit that you guys deserve, man, because obviously all you do is suffer every damn year, and we don't have a lot of good moments. And I don't want to hear about draft positions and all that kind of stuff, dude. I've told you the saying on my show, what is it, for over 20 years now? It's not where you pick, it's who you pick. So if you're good in the front office, you'll develop a team no matter where you pick. One way or another, you'll develop a great team. If you know what you're doing, our people haven't known what they're doing, and that's all. But today, we look competent. Today, we looked respectful. Today, it was fun. And it was fun. Let me tell you something. Little extra fun for the people that went to the game, because there's a lot less Dolphin fans, and there were a lot of Bills fans. So a crap ton of people are walking out of that stadium like, oh, well, I'm pissed off, right? All of a sudden. And so, pretty cool for the Dolphin fans that were there and kind of got to witness that, because, one, that is our best performance of the season. We're taking off to Madrid next week, and yours truly will be there starting on Tuesday, and we'll cover any Dolphin events and stuff, and we'll probably do a few shows out there and do our pregame and postgame. We're going to go to the game also. So our postgame may be a little delayed on it might be weird how we do the postgame, because, the game ends. Well, no, because it's still early, right? Because we're 6 hours ahead. That's what it is, right? So, no, it's all right. It's not so bad. So even when I get back, it's still early enough, and I can do the postgame. So it might be a little bit of a delayed postgame, because I got to get out of the stadium and then go to, do the postgame show. So we'll see. I mean, I've got some ideas, planned, but we'll have some fun, and we'll have a good time. And I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting away. Oh, by the way, it looks like the shutdown may be ending. There could be some stuff happening. So I don't know. We'll see if that's also talk, that maybe some of that. So that's good for anybody that's traveling at any time. You know what I'm saying? But, man, just today is a day to Waddle played like a number one. They used the running game in a responsible fashion today. It was good to see. I know we didn't see a ton of Wright, but it was good to see him there. And, Ollie played and didn't have a lot of success, but that's all right. Just keep sticking with this whole thing. Keep sticking with the running game. Greg Dulcich had a big play for the 22-yarder. There was a lot of misdirection stuff that I got to give Mike McDaniel a lot of credit for. again, it was just so much fun. And Achane, 22 rushes, 174 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 more catches for 51 yards. Just really, really cool to see those guys and everybody. I'm saying some of you that want to trade. See, I wasn't one of those people. Oh, trade Waddle, trade it. No, dude, you have good players, keep them. What you need to, and Lord knows, if you are parting ways with Tua and you got to bring a young quarterback, he needs weapons. You're going to bring a young quarterback and not give him weapons? It's so stupid, So I don't know if they draft a quarterback this year or next year, but if they do, I want that young quarterback to have things around them to succeed. I've seen young quarterbacks with very little around them, and it's not a lot of fun. So, and by the way, I'm a Dolphins fan. I like being entertained. So Achane and Waddle are entertaining players. Why would you get rid of them? I don't understand that part. You know what I mean? You already made the commitment to Waddle. You've already paid the signing. Move forward. And look, he's played well. He's doing all right. So there's nothing really to complain about. And that was a beautiful bomb that they connected in the back of the end zone. A lot of stuff that today was, it was just a lot of fun to watch, watching the defense get after it. The way that defense played today, oh, man, the Sealer sack came at the right time. The Chubb, by the way, that call on Chubb was bullshit, but great sack by him. Willie Gay gets in on the blitz. He's able to get the sack. I mean, really a lot of stuff today that we rarely are treated to. We're rarely treated to a competent football team that knows what they're doing on both sides of the ball. And by the way, Weaver, for a guy that was getting a lot of heat from all of you out there, and I kind of told you guys throughout the thing, I warned you that the defense wasn't going to be good in the first half, that you got to give Weaver some time to figure what he doesn't have and then try to balance it out. So the second half, if you've watched, the defense has been much better. He's a damn good coach. Last year, he had no pass rush, and it took him about a half a season to figure out how to play without a pass rush. By the end of the year, they were a top 10 scoring defense without a pass rush. So this year, you gave him no secondary. So now he's got to figure shit out. Juju Brents, man, who they acquired, was actually playing well. And then the great white wonder, Ethan Bonner, didn't play well. So these are all backups, and he's trying to find and figure out. And throughout the year, he's kind of figured out. Marshall came in, did all right, made a couple plays. I kind of hurt that Juju Brents went out because he looked like a difference maker with his size. When you have corners that can play on the boundary and they have range, that's a beautiful thing, man, because you can't pull the fade stuff on them. So Juju was looking good, and you got to give Weaver, and those of you that were giving Weaver a lot of heat, which was unfair, now you see. But today, like, I'm not as impressed with Weaver. Some of you are because you thought he was a bad coach because you wanted him off the team, whatever, all that other shit. I saw him what he did last year. I go, okay, this guy's got the goods. So today was about Mike McDaniel not doing stupid shit, not getting cued, not sending Ingold out for an 18-yard dig in and, like, what the hell are you doing? No, use them like you use them on short yardage, on a misdirection. That's how you're supposed to use him. Dulcich, he's not a great talent, but scheme him out. Let him find a way where you let everybody one way and he breaks out and he gets a jump on any guy in the NFL, and he's talented enough to, sprint out for 22 yards. These are things that we don't see often. And then he stuck to the run and stuck to the run and stuck to the run and stuck to the run. And I love that. I thought that was fantastic. So overall, it was just one of those days where, man, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was fun. It was needed, right? Because we've taken so much bullshit throughout the whole year. So it was really nice to at least kick back and have a game where, wow, your team looked. And after last night, Inter Miami wins. The Canes win. The Heat win again. Fort Lauderdale United wins on the road. So all 4 South Florida teams won yesterday. it was a really good Saturday, you know, and today you kind of wanted the Dolphins. You were hoping that they weren't going to get embarrassed. Well, they did much better than that. They outperformed the Buffalo Bills. They outplayed them. They outcoached them. They outhustled them. They were the more physical team. By the way, they were the more physical team. That was pretty good. That was fun to watch, folks. Fun to watch. Remember, please smash the hell out of the like button. It is very important that you smash the like button. And, of course, you can make a donation to the show. You can send in your questions and comments on Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you know what? Let's find out. You know, there's key decisions in the game, right? So who is the Sloman's key decision of the game?
What was the deciding moment? Who made the right move? Where did the game change? It's the Sloman's key decision of the game. Make the smart decision to protect your home and family by calling Sloman's at 1-800-ALARM-ME, serving Americans for nearly 100 years. Here's our Sloman's key decision of the game.
Imagine this, folks. There's something going on in your home. Somebody's trying to break in and you have no idea. It's kind of like when you have the running game working against the Buffalo Bills and you're averaging 9 yards a carry, and you'd say all of a sudden, we're not going to do it anymore. That's a bad decision. Today, against the Buffalo Bills, Mike McDaniel did not let up. He kept running. HN 22 for 174, Wright 5 for 17. He ends up as a team 32 for 197 yards and 2 touchdowns. That was a key decision by Mike McDaniel. And by the way, when you have the Shield link, you're going to know if somebody's trying to break in. You're going to be ahead of the game. You're going to be calling the misdirection like they did with Dulcich, like they did with the fullback Ingold. They did a lot of that stuff today, and they got a lot of yardage out of it. And I got to give Mike McDaniel credit because Dulcich is not a top-end talent. He found a way to make him make some impactful plays for you. Malik Washington, by the way, first, the touchdown, terrific pass by Tua, weaved it right between two guys. And it was a great way, two things. One, where Tua positioned it away from the DB, and Malik had to make sure he reached the other way for it, because if he went inside, it would be closer to the DB. So one, the receiver made the adjustment and the quarterback made the adjustment, which was actually perfect, and a great call, again, by Mike McDaniel. There are a lot of great calls. And the best call that he did, he stayed with the running game. The best call you can do is stay with Shield Link. Why? Because with one intuitive app, you can control the lights, the climate, the door locks, the music, the blinds, the TV, just about anything right on your phone. So if your kid leaves the house and doesn't leave the door locked, you're going to know. You're going to have a sensor on your phone. You're going to know. You're going to be able to lock it and then call your kid. You know what I'm saying? I wish we had that for other games for Mike McDaniel. If we had Shield Link, maybe we could control Mike McDaniel. I got it. Let's get Sloman's, which, by the way, in 49 states, 1-800-ALARM-ME. Tell them that Big O sent you. 49 states, Dolphin fans, get in there, okay? Let's see if Sloman's can actually get Shield Link connected to Mike McDaniel, and then we can control him from stupid plays. But today, he made a Shield Link-like decision throughout the game, the key decision. That's right, baby. That's right. So the Sloman's key decision of the game goes to Mike McDaniel. Congratulations, Coach.
Our key decision of the game is brought to you by Sloman's Home Shield. When you want to protect your home, family, or business, call Sloman's at 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Oh, man, that was beautiful. Nice job by the one and only Mike McDaniel. All right, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Let's go with Hateful Steve. Well, shit, Big O. McDaniel had to stick to the run after seeing his QB throw jump balls. Those were 2 punts. They were bad decisions. You know, Hateful Steve, see, here's the problem, my brother. You still don't understand that it's a team game. Josh Allen has to carry his team. Does he carry him to any titles? No, he doesn't. Did he carry him to a win today? No. But guess what? Josh Allen's 2 turnovers helped lose the game. Tua's 2 deep throws were bad decisions, but they were basically punts. Now, bad decisions because too many DBs for one receiver. And if I have an Oronde Gadsden, then I'll do it against a couple of guys. If I have the taller guy, then I'm good. I understand that I might be able to win that jump ball, but with Waddle, I'm not winning that jump ball. They were bad decisions, but your hate for Tua blinds you, and you don't understand that those were bad decisions, but they weren't crippling decisions. The fumble and the interception by Josh Allen, those were crippling decisions, my brother. Josh Allen contributed to the loss. Meanwhile, Tua bombed to Waddle, touchdown to Malik, and overall, a good game, contributed to a win. But hey, man, you stay with the hate because we can only call you Hateful Steve for one reason. Ray, thank you for the love on Venmo. He says, DA is my MVP. He was absolutely dominant. I mean, what are you going to do? Devon Achane is absolutely awesome. And give Devon Achane, Sean Stanley, a victory cigar. Peter German, thank you for the love on Venmo, sir. He says, great game, but I'm not sure how this really helps us. You were absolutely right about Weaver. D has really grown and played well. I wish I could trust McDaniel to use a running game like this all time. Peter, you're a fan, dude. What are you going to do? You know, you guys got to understand this. Wearing your little shirt or your hat or sitting in this chair or going over there, you're not a good luck charm. You're not a bad luck charm. You're praying for them to win. You're praying for them to lose. None of that shit matters, dude. None of that shit matters. Your little lucky fucking shirt doesn't matter. Okay? They're going to play how they're going to play because they're human beings, Peter. Forget about your draft selection, how it helps us and all that bullshit. These are professionals. They can't go out there and just lay it on the ground because that's on their resume, that film. So if they leave the Dolphins, and when they leave the Dolphins and they go to the next employer, they're going to roll the film and they're going to go, well, are you going to do this with us if we have a bad couple of weeks? Because this could happen to us too, by the way. Yeah, we don't want these kind of players. So they're professionals, Peter. You can't expect them to lay down. And if they do, then they're bad character people. They're paid to do a job. The season's over. I get it. They're not going anywhere. But as a fan, I can't sit there and root against my team. And I can't sit there and watch. I have to sit there and watch terrible football, but I'd rather watch them play good. And I had a lot of fun today. So as I've told you, you could have had Drew Brees, but you took John Avery, right? You could have had Anquan Bolden, but you took Eddie Moore. You know what I'm saying? So this happens all throughout the history of mankind. You know, you could have had Randy Moss, but no, you wanted no, actually, that was the John Avery one. It was Jamar Fletcher for Breeze. It's just, you could go throughout history. Why'd you trade Robin Senline for Anthony Carter? You know, it just goes on and on and on and on. You know, as much as you guys can argue about Tua or argue about Herbert, well, the guy I wanted that day was Tristan Wirfs. He's better than both of them. He's already got like a Hall of Fame-like career already in the short time that he's played. That's how good of an offensive tackle he is already in the league. That's how well-respected he is. Goes like that, dude. You know, I didn't like Herbert. I thought he was I still think he's an athletic Jeff George. Yeah, he'll wow you, but he's going to choke when the moment comes. And Tua, I would have never drafted him because of the injury history, even though I know he can play. He can definitely throw the ball. He can definitely, but you got to give him a line and give him a running game, and they refuse to do that. When you do, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. But if you don't, then it just becomes a problem. But Peter, we have no control over these people. These are human beings. These are athletes. These are professionals, and they should play hard no matter what. And they should play to win no matter what. Well, even if they're not going to be on the team next year, they don't give a shit about that. And you watch guys, Brooks, he doesn't play like, oh, yeah, let me fold and not make tackles. No, that guy's going to lay it all out there. I mean, he leads that defense every single week. I root for Jordan Brooks. You know what I mean? So it's not a matter of how it helps us. We got to get past that. If you're a fan, just enjoy the moment. That's all. And for your team, as I've said for over 20 years on this show, it's not where you pick, it's who you pick. And that's it. And you're going to have chances to pick up great players all throughout the draft. It's up to you to make the right selections. And our team has not for a long time. Joe Cracciola, thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo. Don't know what that was, but I want more. Bring that energy to Spain. Hell yeah, we'll be there. Safe travel to you guys and have fun. Love the show. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate you, and thank you for the support. Truly appreciate it. Thank you. Adam Pinkser. It only took McDaniel 3.5 years to figure it out, but good things happen when you run the ball. Happy to finally see the Fins get a dub over Buffalo and send those loser Bills fans back to Buffalo with an L. That was beautiful because it was Buffalo Bills heaven today at that stadium. Anthony Lizzie, thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo. He says, balance and good D. Tua's interceptions were like punts, so I'm not mad. I know, and well, except for Hateful Steve, he can't stand it. If Tua has any success, it kills him. Hurt draft pick, but I don't care. I really enjoyed that game. It was so much fun, which is rare for us. Exactly. We can't control them, dude. If we could, they would have beat San Francisco and we would have won the Super Bowl. If they could, they would have stopped Riggins and Bo Kemper would have caught the interception and we would have, won the Super Bowl. If they could, we would have stopped Thurman Thomas from going over 300 yards. I mean, there's a lot of times I was hoping that they could win and they didn't. So I don't have any control over it. None. So these moments here, you're not taking them from me, bro. You're not taking them from me. I'm sorry. You're not taking them from me. No effing way, bro. No effing way. Hateful Steve is back for more. He says, yeah, well, the team doesn't lead the league in interception, nor does Hate. Josh Allen will be in the playoffs and Tua will be watching from his couch. Yeah, I know. He doesn't have McDermott on the sidelines. He doesn't have an offensive line that's been together for 3 straight years. Does Tua have that? He doesn't have a team that actually has a running back that they stick to the running game. You know what I mean? So, I get it. There's a lot of things that Tua doesn't have, and if he had them, he would be a lot better. But he's stuck with Mike McDaniel, who once in a while figures it out. Where and at what time will you be going to be? I'll be Tuesday to Tuesday in Madrid. I take off Tuesday, but I land Wednesday. Wednesday morning, like at 6 a.m. So, and I'll if you follow me on X at Big O Show on Twitter, and of course have the notification bell hit on the thing, you'll know when I go live. I may be at Dolphin events or something. And I'll go live with my phone and all that. I got my phone set up. I'll be able to use it, there in Spain and all that. So we're kosher. We're ready to go, ready to rock and roll. Okay. So I will tell you where I'm going to be at and all that. When I get there on Wednesday, I'm going to go over to that bar and talk to the manager and see if I can clear with her to do my pre and post there and possibly at least my Friday show from there. And then I can tell you guys and then, come on over and join us and have a great time. I can't wait, man. I went to Barcelona when I was like 18 years old. I'm 59 now. So that was a long time ago, but I'm looking forward to it, going with the wife. So we'll have a really, really good time. So looking forward to seeing you, Alberto, and everybody else out there, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see what we got here on Cash App. Sweet Baby Ray, thank you for the love on Cash App. He says Ross is extending McD after this win. He'll probably give him a 10-year contract after this. You're right about that. True Fin Fan sends one in. He says, for beating the Bills is a good day. Thank you, True Fin Fan. And then he sent in another one. He says, say it with me, run the ball, Mile. And they ran it, bro. They ran it. That was beautiful today. That was absolutely beautiful today, what they were able to pull off. That was good. That was good. Let's do this. I think this one's easy because, you got to pick an MVP. Who's our Moody's Dental MVP of the night?
Who's last night's MVP? There's only one MVP for your family's dental care.
Moody's Dental. Get your smile back at Moody's Dental. Visit them on Instagram at moodys.dental.
Here's our Moody's Dental MVP of the night.
Pretty easy, right? We got to go with Devon Achane, who had 22 rushes for 174 yards. He also had 6 receptions for 51. By the way, 2 touchdowns also. And that backbreaking at the end to just kind of seal the deal. I tweeted out a little, just, a while before that, I go, they're going to need 7 more to finish them out, to just put the icing on the cake, to make sure, you know what I mean? Just in case. And they got that, and that was a beautiful thing. And then Achane explodes it, and just, he just tore it up. And he's the team's MVP, period. Okay? We know the defense is coming on. Brooks has had a hell of a season overall. Patrick Paul quietly has been absolutely fantastic. Aaron Brewer has been good. Waddle, by the way, since the Tyreek trade, I think I heard the announcer say that Waddle has been a top 5 receiver in yards in the NFL since the Tyreek injury. So Waddle's doing his job as a number 1 if he's top 5 in the NFL in total yards as a wide receiver since Tyreek went out. I guess he's doing his job, right? So overall, Achane, there's a lot of guys that are contributing that we can, discuss. But Achane, without him, I don't know where we would be. And I'm just glad that he's here. And you don't have a lot of good players. Keep the ones you do have around. I'd like to see Achane around for a second contract personally. He's a fantastic young man. He just plays hard, and he fits what they do here right now. So I just think Achane is one of those guys that you've got to have. And today, he is easily the MVP. And by the way, visit our friends at Moody's Dental in Hialeah at 305-821-0231. In Broward, Plantation, 954-692-6825. I go there. My wife goes there. My daughter goes there. My mother-in-law goes there. The entire family goes there. Follow them on Instagram at moodys.dental. Get your smile back. Invisaligns, dental implants, cosmetic surgery, preventive care. Call my friends at Moody's Dental. Family-owned, family-run, and you're going to feel like family when you're there. And Devon Achane, I hope he stays in the Dolphin family for a long time. He's our Moody's Dental MVP of the night.
The MVP of the night is brought to you by Moody's Dental.
From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams. To schedule an appointment in Dade, call 305-821-0231. In Broward, 954-692-6825. Follow them on Instagram at moodys.dental, providing MVP smiles every day of the year.
Sean, let's get to the super chats, man. Yes, a little all-year cooling. Make sure you tell them that Big O sent you, by the way, from Vero Beach all the way down to Homestead, and we've got offices now in Naples. Frankie Fresco, life after Greer is good, 1-0. I hope it continues. Let's see what happens, Frankie. But I'll take anything that happens now. Let's go. Next. Thank you. Stephen Rowell said it in your pregame show. The road to 7-10 starts with an upset versus the Bills. Get to 6-7, then lose the final 3 or 4 and finish 7-10 and be stuck in the middle. That's so Dolphins. Well, thank you, Stephen. I appreciate you on the super chat. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm happy with the win. Okay. I will be happy to be in the stands this week in Madrid and watch them win. That would be actually fun to, win 2 in a row. That would be cool. I'd like that. Go ahead. What's next? Man of 1,005 holds. Great win. Fire Weaver, please. The defense was dominant and Achane ran through the Bills. Brick wall. Onward to Madrid. Ole, ole. I'm just saying, a lot of people were down on Weaver, forgetting everything he did last year. And because, again, he got, short-term memories and a slow start, when they give him a bunch of shit on defense and he's got to adjust, you got to give a coach some time to figure stuff out. And he's figured it out. He's done a good job. Next up. Manny J. Snow, thank you, sir, as always, to watch 80% of the stadium full of Bills fans. And I was there to watch the embarrassment, and watching my team give the Bills fans a huge shit burrito was amazing. That was good. That was good. And thank you, Manny J. Snow. Appreciate you. Next up, we got Donald Fancy Delancey. Best supporting performance goes to, come on, Big O. What is that? What does the face mean? What does it mean? What does he mean by that? I don't know. It's going over my head. What am I missing, Sean? Do you know? You don't know either, huh? I don't know. I think I've given credit to everybody that's pretty much due. By the way, please, Jason Sanders, come back. Okay? I'm just saying. Where are you? Next up. Man of 1,005 holds. Hope Ross doesn't extend McDaniels. Oh, no. 10-year extension's coming now. 10-year extension. If they extended Joe Philbin on a meaningless Minnesota game to beat the Bills at home, Stephen Ross is, I think he may give him half the team. Next up. I could just see his daughter and the son-in-law like trying to stop the old man from signing away half the team to him. Let's see. Percy Lavrada. Big O, will this save McD? No. I'm afraid that Stephen Ross keeps. I know, listen, and I don't blame you all out there. Extension, keeping him. The paranoia is understandable. Okay, we have a stupid owner. We have an owner that doesn't understand anything. And worst of all, he has nobody next to him that knows anything about this. Okay? The people that are around him clearly are not giving him good advice. I'm sorry. You see them all in the booth. Okay? You've watched it for 15 years. Any success? Bueller? Any success? Okay, so let's cut the shit now. We don't do this on the show, okay? I love the dude, but he's sitting there in the booth. That's where, the silliness that you people enter. So whatever Garfinkel's telling him, whatever anybody that's there, that's in that booth, not more, whoever, whatever, nobody, he's asked opinions of all of them. So what do you think? You think I was born yesterday? So he's asked all those people opinions. Whatever opinions he's getting, he's not getting any good ones. I get it. You're jaded because the old man makes you jaded, and he should. But I truly believe McDaniel doesn't survive. And again, it's just one win. Let's relax. We know Mike McDaniel. He tends to, he's the guy that had 3 running backs, and it worked beautifully against Atlanta. And then all of a sudden, 4 days later against the Baltimore Ravens, he decides, we don't need to use Jalen Wright. Let's just put him on the shelf and all he gets injured. This is who we're talking about. So remember that. This is the guy that had a 17-0 lead with Waller, and then in the second half can't get him the ball, and they lose. This is the guy that loses by 2 points when Waller doesn't make an impact in the entire game, but catches a touchdown at the end all by himself. This is the guy. Okay? Is this the man? All right, anyway. Next up. Percy again. Big O, will this save McD? Oh, no, that was a repeat. Go ahead. JC. Dolphins, let's win, baby. Next up, the Grey Cup next weekend, Montreal, Saskatchewan. Canadian Big O fan. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And go Montreal. I mean, I don't follow the Grey Cup, but If you're a fan of the show, you're a Saskatchewan fan, then go Saskatchewan. All right. Where are we at? Frankie Fresco, great decision to trade Phillips and keeping Chubb. It's not a decision. They bought a third-round pick for nearly $6 million. I guess you didn't catch the show. You know, the math says you will pay a third-round pick in his contract $6 million. So you bought a third-round pick for almost $6 million to pay that person $6 more million. So you're paying your third-round pick that's coming up $12 million. I'm sorry, wait a minute. $12 million. Okay? Be careful on the praise there, Frankie. Understand the context of it. Okay? It's nothing to be impressed about. That's, again, you missed the show, but we gave you the example of the Cleveland Browns. I believe I nailed it, right? It was, what, $16 million, Sean, when you looked it up? The Cleveland Browns paid $16 million to acquire a second-round pick in the Osweiler deal. That's what the Dolphins did. They paid almost $6 million to acquire a third-round pick. That's why they couldn't trade other guys, because they were willing to buy picks. And people weren't willing to give the picks away even for the money. But Stephen Ross doesn't give a shit about the money. It's not your money. It's not mine. Whatever. But it's terrible business what they did to be, if we're being honest, it's terrible business. You're already paying double to that draft pick. For what? He hasn't even done anything. Next up, John Santos Padilla. Hey, since you're leaving on Tuesday, please tell us how bad it's going to be through TSA lines. I'm leaving for Honduras. Well, it might be worse for you on November 21st than myself, my brother. But by the way, there is news. I don't know what the update is, but I'll tell you exactly what I saw before I got on the air. U.S. Congress is reportedly close to reaching a deal to reopen the government after Senate Democrats signaled they are ready to back a bipartisan proposal. At least 10 Democrats are expected to support advancing a spending and short-term funding bill. So it might end as it is, my brother. So you might be fine. And by the way, don't judge me by you on the 21st, because it'll be a whole different world. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I'm going on an international flight, which is those big ass giant planes that have 3 rows of stacked. It's like 4 seats and 3 seats and 3 seats, those kind of planes. You can't send that shit to Tampa and to Atlanta and to New York and to Montreal, or they can't use that for Eastern Seaboard travel. That's international. So I think we're situated in a different place. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'd be lying to you, my brother, about where I'm at on Tuesday and where you're at on the 21st if this thing is still going on. But cross your fingers. It might be ending. I'll look and see if there's anything new as we're doing the show. But, so, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Next up. Okay. All right. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. John Nazarin, thank you for the love on Venmo, sir. He says, Cole Strange is better than Eichenberg ever was. True. Also, what happened to the original right side of the line? Do they work at Target now? What the hell happened to them? Dude, whatever it was. How about those injuries? That was crippling to the team to lose both guys. Wow, that was terrible, man. Jackson turned into a good player, and then all of a sudden turned into a sack of injuries. And Daniels came in injured and then got injured on a bicep, like another freak accident. Like, it's crazy shit, dude. Just crazy shit. It's sad. But yeah, you're right. And how about Brunskill today? Can you pull up my tweet on Brunskill there, Sean? Brunskill made a block on a big A-Chan run. The son of a bitch fell to the floor. And he has the unlike Eichenberg, who stays on the floor and starts breakdancing, and then does a little pause and all that kind of stuff and holds his nuts and all that. No, not Brunskill. No. He falls and he gets right back up again, but not to his feet, to his knees. And he lays a block on a guy, and I froze the picture perfectly, where his block is freeing Achane to just turn it up and go up on the middle and to the right, and where he got the big gainer. And it was a first down. And props to Brunskill, dude. That was one of those plays that most people didn't notice. If you follow me on X, you would have seen it, because you might have missed it at that moment. But like, look at that shit. Look at Achane right next to Brunskill coming through, and Brunskill's laying that block. Okay, this is a man that you got to go watch the play. How he falls to the floor and he gets back up to make that. He has the wherewithal to know where he has to make a block for the timing of the play. Fucking awesome, dude. Fucking awesome. Excuse the French. But that was fun. It was fun. It was fun. Robert Cow, thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo. It says, take it all in. Exactly, man. It is what it is, Just enjoy it. That's what we should do as fans. It's all we can do as fans. Just enjoy it. We don't control anything that they do. We don't control when they get arrested. We don't control when they score touchdowns. We don't control when they fumble. We don't control when they block. We don't control any of it. We just root for them to do well. That's the only crime we're all guilty of. We're guilty of being pissed off that you're not winning. Denardo Joseph, thank you for the love on Cash App. Have a safe trip. God bless you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you, Denardo. And we will have a safe trip. We'll have a good time out there. And he sent in another Cash App. Thank you for the generosity, sir. He says, Bill's got that belt to ass. That's right, baby. I like it. We pulled out that switch. By the way, since Adrian Peterson's screwing off so much lately, why don't all his kids, his 77 kids, whip out switches and whip his ass for being a dumbass? Huh? If he's going to do it to them. True Fin fan, thank you for the love on Cash App. For Cosa Nostra's great chats. Yeah, he's known to say some crazy shit. Yeah, that's Cosa Nostra, no doubt about that. And I appreciate you all out there. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. By the way, Bitcoin's over 104,000. Probably saw that they're trying to give away stimulus. Chet Miles, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, I sent 2 super chats that wasn't posted. What's up? Find the other ones for Chet Miles. Okay. Did we skip Chet Miles? I hope we did. Or Chet, maybe it didn't go through. That happens sometimes. Who knows? Let me see if he...
There's no Chet Miles on our...
No, so maybe you thought it went through, my brother, and it didn't. Sorry about that. But he just went through all of them, and it wasn't there, unfortunately, my man. So let me see. JJ says, I expect after this win that Stephen Ross will offer a stipend to the head coach of Mike McDaniel for the purchase of more colorful capri pants, Lululemon bras, and panties to wear on the sidelines. Okay, I like it. The Lululemon bras, those are important. What else do we have here? Werner says, talk about all the local teams winning. Guessing this game win will get McDaniel another few years. Everybody's so worried about that. Big Johnson's throwing that in there. Big O, what's up with? Let me see here. What's up with McDaniel burning all his timeouts in the first quarter? First of all, that was a bullshit call at the beginning of the game. But even if it's a bullshit call, that's where McDaniel cannot use a timeout and burn a timeout to get an explanation when you're not going to win. So either you challenge it, and if you can't challenge it, and you should know that you can't challenge it, then just eat the damn penalty. Because, the Ingold penalty was bullshit. The Chubb penalty was bullshit. They're going to make bad calls. It's going to happen. But as a coach, I blame him for burning that timeout. Now, again, it didn't cost them. They were on point today. They outplayed them. So whatever little mistakes they made throughout the game, they weren't really mistakes that cost them anything. So it worked out for them overall, and you got lucky in that sense. But I agree with you. Listen, again, Mike McDaniel normally doesn't have games like this. He doesn't call games like this all the way through that actually makes sense. But he does burn timeouts. He does do stupid shit, and he does that a lot. So that's what we're used to. That's why this is kind of a shock. So the fact that he did make a couple of mistakes, nobody's going to play a perfect game. Not a receiver, not a running back, not a quarterback, not a coach. You're going to make a mistake or two in the game. But you got to make more pluses than minuses, much more, overall, to overshadow any little mistakes that you make. And today, the timeout stuff, that was bad. But again, you played so well. He called such a really good game. I got to give him a lot of props, dude. I got to give him a lot of props. This one's also easy because you want to know who was the difference maker in the game. And we have it. We have our Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker of the game.
Who brought the edge? Who changed the game? Who is our Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker? When you want to give your home or business the edge, call Cutter's Edge Pro in South Florida for all your landscape solutions. Here's our Cutter'sEdgePro.com difference maker.
This one is easy, and we got to give it to the defense. When I go MVP and I give it to Achane, I could easily give the defense also the MVP. And there are so many ways. Sealer came up with the big sack. Obviously, Chubb had the sack. Willie Gay came up with a sack. The fumble, forcing the fumble on Josh Allen, forcing the fumble on Cook. The defense was just all over Buffalo's offense. They did not let him get extra yardage on plays. It was a dominating performance. Jordan Brooks had 12 tackles, 6 solo, 2 tackles for losses. Tyrell Dodson had 9 tackles, 5 solo. The defense was flying all over. The linebackers set the tone. Jordan Brooks has been setting the tone for the Dolphin defense now for most of the season. Really, he's been a real bright spot for this team. And over the last few weeks, my God, not only does he lead the NFL in tackles, but man, he has set really the tempo and the edge for that defense. And that's why they've kind of turned things around, and he's led the way. And man, when you talk about bringing the edge, that there's no doubt in my mind the Dolphin defense brought the edge today, and they showed it in every way possible. Like my man, William Quigley, Cutter's Edge Pro, Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties. Add landscaping to your home. You add the value to your home. You also add a better lifestyle to your home because you are paying the mortgage for your entire house and the entire yard, right? Why not use it? So add a ton of landscaping so you can add shade. That's what we have in our home. As the years have gone on, this is our 4th year since we added it from Cutter's Edge Pro, and everything has grown so much that at times you'll see 50, 60, 70% of the yard under shade where our dogs can play around. We can actually hang out because it's 10, 15 degrees cooler. Plus, a lot of people had landscaping around their entire home and big trees and all of that. Why? The heat, the plants absorb the trees. The all of a sudden, it's not the walls of your home, so the AC is working less. It's a beautiful thing. Sometimes you can also, if you have enough landscaping around your home, you can actually raise the windows up and open up the windows and have some fresh air come in. Why? Because the trees bring down the temperature, and they also bring up the value of your home. Call my guy, William Quigley. They do it all: artificial grass, irrigation, outdoor lighting, landscape design that will blow you away. And they do it and they engineer it the right way. Reach out to them. They know how to get it done. 954-472-0622. And that Dolphin defense is definitely our Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker of the game.
The Cutter's Edge Pro Difference Maker is brought to you by Cutter'sEdgePro.com, servicing HOAs, condominiums, townhomes, commercial properties, corporate parks, malls throughout South Florida. Cutter'sEdgePro.com, providing South Floridians the edge every day of the year.
Amen to that. Bringing it and bringing it and bringing it. That's what they're always doing it. John Nazarin. Thank you again for the love on Venmo, sir. He says secondary did well. Juju and Marshall. Bonner can't play. Time to move on from him. Yeah, the Ethan Bonner. It's kind of like the Tanner Connor experiment. Like, okay, dude, you did it enough already. Let it go. He's not a player, but the Juju Brents kid, he showed a little something at least. And Jason Marshall got in there and actually made some plays. So I agree with you. Maybe that's a move you make this week and you pick somebody else's practice squad player and that you think might have better potential. I agree with you on that one. I would probably go in that direction. Yeah, no doubt about it. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation as always. And you can send in your questions, comments, insults too, as always, and we appreciate it. Jermaine says defense looks so much better without Phillips. It's just a matter of they all played well. I'm not doing that with Phillips. Phillips is going to end up looking better in Philadelphia playing around that talent. Okay, so it's a good move for him. I'm happy for Jalen Phillips, man. Listen, I love my Dolphins, but they don't do anything right. You know what I mean? So players don't really excel or play their best here or have their most success here because we're not that franchise. So I don't begrudge anybody that has an opportunity now. I'll be rooting actually for Jalen Phillips. He's a good dude, man. He didn't even want to get traded. And now it's going to end up becoming a blessing in disguise for him because he's going to have a great experience. It is what it is. All right, let's get to it, man. The one and only David Furones is ready to go with our Welt and Rheaume Miami Dolphins post-game report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rheaume Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welt and Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
Well, if you read the paper this week, David Furones predicted that the Dolphins would win 30-13. They would absolutely dominate. Mike McDaniel would call a hell of a game. Achane would have nearly 200 yards. They would get 3 sacks. They would befuddle Josh Allen. They would force him into 2 game-crippling turnovers. Great job by you, David.
Thank you. Of course, I love taking credit for things that never happened and I never did say. The most I can take credit for is I would at least maybe throw out there I wouldn't be entirely surprised if this happened to be the time where something like this happened. But yes, my official score prediction, because I can't just play both sides of the fence, my official score prediction was really for it to go almost entirely the other way. It was Bills 31, Dolphins 16, and it ended up being a 30-13 win for Miami. Shocking.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I expected a slaughter. I did. I expected a slaughter, and we got completely the opposite. They played just a complete game, dude. Just a complete game, a well-coached game by Mike McDaniel. He actually used the running game. I was so proud of him at the end when that third run ended up becoming a touchdown by Achane, but the idea was force him to use that last timeout, dude. Just go through it stay with it. Stay with your wingman, as they would say in Top Gun. So I love that he coached well. Weaver, he's been turning the corner for several weeks now. His defense, it was just a really good game overall, dude. Really fun.
Yeah. And this team really, you're seeing how effective they can be when they're playing with a lead. So I think if you establish it early, because 2 of the last 3 games that you saw the Dolphins play some of their best football, most complete, complementary football, and it's a matter of getting ahead early so that then and that helps you not get away from the run game, which the Dolphins can be effective in that regard. Especially that's where the Bills are vulnerable. So that's why you had a big game from Achane. And by the end of this game, when the Bills, now, yes, it's November, but still it was hot and humid out there, especially for them coming from Buffalo, where it's snowing over there right now. So that's a huge difference. It might be more effective now when it's the difference of going from a high of 86 here, you go into that after you're leaving the snow in Western New York. That might be more impactful than if it's like September and it's kind of like they're getting some heat over there, but and then you still go into the heat, even though it's more amplified early in the season here. So it's really tough to keep up with Devon Achane after you're not used to these conditions, and then all of a sudden you have to tackle a man that fast when you're just like dragging yourself by the end. So that's what I did like that the Dolphins did play physical, go to the run game, and then it's tough on a defense coming in here to then have to keep up with HN in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, no, dude. And again, they ran the ball really well. Brunskill's making blocks on his knees. I mean, that was just awesome. Did you see that block by Brunskill on his knees?
I might have missed exactly. I saw he was in plenty, but the specific play, I might have been writing or something.
No, it's still there. I guess he wasn't following it on Twitter there. I posted it on Twitter.
Okay, yeah.
And there it is. Look at HN going right past him. Brunskill, you see that play. He falls, and he has the quickness to get up on his knees to lay the block that he knows he has to lay in order to make that play work. And there's HN going right past him. That's Brunskill on his effing knees making a block, dude.
I'm going to go find that one right now on your page here.
Yeah,
I see it. A still shot.
That was, you got to see the play. It's impressive how he has the wherewithal to slip, fall, and get up and make that play still to help that run work. Just a hell of an effort. Everybody just played well, dude. Everybody played well overall. Good. We saw the deep ball with Waddle. It was a nice touchdown to Washington. I didn't like the 2 deep ball decisions by Tua, because if it's a Rondé, if it's Randy McMichael, if it's what's it called, Gesicki, if it's Waller, if you give me a big body with 2 guys down there, I'll take that chance. I'll throw that ball, but not with a midget receiver. When you throw small guys and there's 2 guys out there or 3, you're not going to win that one. So I didn't like that. I know they end up being punts, so it doesn't really hurt to see. I just thought those were ones that you're better off throwing it away and punting than making that, because that could turn into an ugly play.
Yeah, no, I mean, in the moment for both of those interceptions, I was kind of like, long punt, long. It was 3rd and long. It's a low percentage conversion anyway. A lot of times you see teams just like run the football or throw a safe screen because they're just going to punt on the next play anyway. So it was something that Mike McDaniel even said after the game. He was trying to just get to it, to go ahead and take those shots, and not worry so much that if they do get picked.
Send Cedric, send Ikini, send somebody with size at least that gives you a chance at the highest point. You know what I'm saying? Waddle is not going to. He's not Mark Clayton. I'm sorry. I know you know the name, but Mark. Okay, so Mark Clayton was like 5'10", but he played like he was a 6'4" receiver because he could sky up there, and he had great body strength. He He could squat like 500 pounds and stuff. Mark Clayton was a freak of all freaks.
Okay.
So I understand you trying that because Marino used to do it with Clayton all the time. But, or Chris Chambers, which is your era.
Yeah.
Chris Chambers, you know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. If you're going to run that play, run it with somebody that you can high point with. That's not Waddle's game. It's just not.
Low key, I kind of think of Tyreek Hill when you're saying that Clayton was able to leg press so much, squat so much, and could get his shorter receiver, but that he could sky up for a ball. I feel like we have seen Tyreek Hill do that just with his athletic ability. But
nothing.
Yeah, I didn't live this era, so you tell me.
When Clayton was on, it was only Jerry Rice above him.
Wow,
that's it. Okay. Clayton was a badass, dude.
Yeah.
A bad mofo. He had body control. He had hands like vice grips. No, man. No. Clayton was a freak. Clayton was a whole different. But my point is, if you're going to throw it downfield, Oronde wasn't fast, but it didn't matter. You just threw, as long as you high pointed it where he was going to be at, you had a shot. You know what I mean? And that's my only hang up with it. I know they were punts. That was my only hang up with the whole thing, that, call a better person to be in that position, not the midget receiver. And I'm just tired of midget receivers on high pointing balls. I just don't, it doesn't pay off. Think about it over the 4 years, it happens a couple of times, but it's just, you're playing a low percentage game is my point. On that.
Yeah, I guess when you send Waddle out there, you're seeing if he can outrun a DB. But in those cases, the safety was over the top. So it's not like when he was burning Maxwell Hairston for the touchdown down the sideline, which was beautiful the way that was run. So, I get your point.
Yeah, I just wish he would have, let's call a better player in that position so that way the quarterback has a chance. But in that play, you just don't have a chance if you're gonna send the midget and go deep. Overall, dude, how about Jordan Brooks?
Yeah, he's a stud. He's a stud. This is what you sign up for with them. Before he came here, all I kind of knew was the sheer numbers on a stat sheet was just okay. Well, he's putting up like 160 tackles. Well, I think he had 1 year where it's like crazy, just numbers in the triple digits when the Dolphins were having like Jerome Baker like barely get to triple digits and things like that. So you knew the volume of what he could do, but then what I've come to learn is just his intensity and the leader that he is too for this defense. So now he's taken over as the guy who gets the team hyped up, everyone around him pregame when they have one wave of players come out for warmups and then the second wave comes out and then there's like a time when all players are on the field at the same time. And he's the one that it was Tyreek Hill earlier this season. It was Calais Campbell last year that hypes up the whole team. So he's taken that upon himself. And when he has a chance to punch the ball out, rip it out, he does that. So Dolphins were able to get that on Josh Allen. And then another one, James Cook, forced that fumble. Couple of key recoveries when they were moving the ball, and then red zone turnover of Josh Allen throwing what was a pretty bad interception, but Fatu Melifonwu is opportunistic there. So 3 takeaways, and those were more impactful takeaways than the 2 that the Dolphins had, which, like we've talked about, were kind of essentially just punts on 3rd and long with long interceptions. So the net yardage wasn't that significant. For the Bills, those fumbles, they were driving, they were trying to gain momentum. Allen had just picked up a 3rd and 1 on a sneak and maybe got a little greedy. I think the cameras caught him saying, I should have just gone down. And then, of course, he throws a pass into the end zone that's picked off. So those were huge turnovers in the scheme of the game.
I explained this. As much as I don't like the decision by Tua to throw those deep balls that end up becoming punts, and I want McDaniel to scheme a better player for that, so that play at least may have a chance. Okay, fine. And so, you have some people, especially the Tua haters, they kind of use that as a crutch on him, which really it's not today. You can't really use that. But if you think about it, today's a great example why the Buffalo Bills never won a Super Bowl. And the reason why nobody ever wins a Super Bowl when you count on one guy. And you put the weight of the world on Josh Allen. his two mistakes way more crippling, and the reasons why they lost than why Tua made his two throws that were, you could say, questionable and whatever, but they really didn't hurt the team. Whereas Josh Allen's two mistakes absolutely crippled the team.
Absolutely, yeah, huge in the flow of the game. The game changes immensely if they're able to score, capitalize on that drive going down. They got to the 5-yard line, and then they come up empty, and then they're picking up some momentum, and he squanders it all the way. Kind of getting greedy and having the ball ripped out as he is vying for more yardage. So that kind of reminded me of like Josh Allen, if we had seen maybe a couple years back. I felt like he was getting to another spot where he was being more cautious with the football, but that was always what you pointed to with him. Like the big criticism of him is, yeah, he can make all these phenomenal plays, but then you would have moments like that where it's just mind-boggling turnovers, and that surfaced again today in a big way.
By the way, when the tight end made the catch, that was a bad pass. The tight end had to come back and
oh yeah,
it was a bad pass. There was a couple plays that they were complete, but they weren't. If you look at the ball placement, it's another one where he threw it on the floor to another guy off on the flats. His erratic nature still rears its ugly head when every once in a while with his throws. He just has some moments that are absolutely amazing when he can scramble around and find guys. But the key today is that the Dolphins shut down their wide receivers. Their wide receivers were not the factor in this game. And that's a problem. That was a problem for the Bills. That's why they had to start going to the tight ends, and then the tight end got injured.
Yeah, that was huge because I figured Dalton Kincaid would have a huge game. Even in our prop bets that we publish, Sun Sentinel, I took like a higher reception total for him as my long shot pick. Like he would hit like 6+ receptions, which would be high, of course. And then he didn't make it. As I thought I was going to be in a good spot when the Bills were behind and would have to throw in the second half, and then he tweaks his hamstring. But Jackson Hawes ends up catching a touchdown, and we know they have Dawson Knox there too, and we know the Dolphins don't cover the tight ends well, so you figured that a little bit. But shout out then to Juju Brents, because he steps in, and with Rasul Douglas hurt, which Rasul has been very valuable, very reliable on one side, Juju Brents comes in as the guy kind of unexpected. The talk was between Ethan Bonner and Jason Marshall, and now we see that was just a smokescreen that was put out there by Anthony Weaver because he was trying to hide the player who it was actually going to be, which was Brents. And great game for him. And then you saw how much it hurt them once he was out of the game. Yeah, then Ethan Bonner goes in, and Allen is attacking him with Keon Coleman, and that leads to a touchdown. And then he tries to attack Jason Marshall too, and then Marshall.
I think the Great White Wonder, I think his run is over this week, just like Tanner Connor. I think I can see the Great White Wonder getting cut and sent to the practice squad if he clears waivers and all that.
First Connor and then Bonner.
Yeah. Connor and Bonner. Yeah. And, we're getting into Christmas. So on Donner, on Dixon, on Prancer, on Pritzer, and all that. Yeah. But why not?
Well done.
They can join the reindeers and just absolutely take off, man. No, but it was a lot of fun today. All right. What do you got? What do you got on our injuries, by the way? Anything on the injury front?
Ooh, not much in terms of injuries. It didn't catch up on too much of that. I never even saw if because I was going to look this up. Did they ever announce? I think Brent's ended up going back into the game, right? I believe he.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Toward the end.
Yes, he did.
So I guess he's all right. Yeah.
But it was sporadic. It wasn't like permanent. Like they moved him in back out. Maybe I don't know if he's still 100. Like maybe he tried play and it was like and then they kept him out towards the end. You didn't need him anymore.
I don't think they announced an injury because they didn't have to if he was going back in, if he was cleared to play. So and then that was just a question we never got to. Mike McDaniel with the so much else going on around over the this win. So
I'll
probably find out more.
I thought Julian Hill could come back this week. Does it look like maybe next week in Madrid?
Yeah, I got to figure he's close. He's got to be close. It came in questionable. Yeah, you really thought it would be him, especially when you saw the tight end moves going on. They ran with just the 2 tight ends, but Daniel Brunskill. He's now factoring. He's taking away tight end snaps. Bringing a blocker as a jumbo package extra offensive lineman. So that factors in. He's kind of like he gives you 8 offensive linemen, but the 3rd tight end as well when you have him in the mix. So I guess they felt they didn't need to rush Julian Hill. So it's funny because this Brunskill thing started because Julian Hill was out and you wanted another good blocker, and then you go jumbo, and then now all of a sudden you have something that you could keep rolling out there regardless, even when he does come back. So yeah, he didn't get to go. And Rasul Douglas, I guess that'll be monitored. He was, doubtful coming into this. Chop Robinson with another week in concussion protocol, especially since they didn't rule him out until Saturday. I would imagine.
If he flies, he plays. Yeah. If he flies, he plays. Because you're not going to make him take that flight if he's not playing.
I think so. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that'll be a good sign. And I think you send him over there, assuming he's clear to do so. I mean, Tua had his concussions and was able to fly right after the Seattle game when the last year when they had that. So I think that was a long flight in its own right. Long flight going the other way. So I can totally see it.
When do you leave?
I go tomorrow, connecting in JFK, and then it is. Yeah, and then an evening flight to then land Tuesday morning in Madrid.
Wow, I leave Tuesday, land Monday morning at 6 a.m.
Oh, yeah, you're going. Yeah, that's right.
It's the only trip I planned. I'm going Tuesday to Tuesday. So,
Tuesday to Tuesday. Excellent, yeah.
I'm taking the wife too, so obviously I'm not going to go to Madrid and not take the wife, bro. Are you kidding me? Yeah. I got to go have fun. I don't even take any days off in this damn thing. I work all the damn time, so I definitely deserve this.
We'll do it. We'll do the Wilton Rayom report over there in person then.
Damn right. Right.
Yeah.
So we'll get that done. All right, my brother. What do you got going on the Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Yeah, wrapping up this game coverage, and then I'll write about how it was the guys the Dolphins didn't trade that made big plays in this one. Jalen Waddle, of course, Devon Achane finishing it off. So some building blocks there surfacing as the Dolphins do end up snapping this losing streak against the Bills.
Let's hope we get this kind of football in Madrid. That'll be a lot of fun. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. David, as always, thank you, my brother. We'll catch up in Madrid.
Yes, sir.
You got it. There you go. And, of course, Welton Rayom, 954-966-4646. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Folks, listen, save the number because it doesn't matter if it's hurricane season or not. And I know it's hurricane season till the end of November, but rain showers happen, torrential downpours. It creates all kinds of problems. You see any brown spots on your roof, never call the insurance company. You call Welton Rayom first. They send their adjusters, and then they assess the real damage for you. And then they call the insurance company on your behalf, and you never have to deal with them. Isn't that a beautiful thing? No headaches for you. They do it all for you. All you do is pick up a check at their Hollywood offices. And we've had listeners that have called them on the West Coast, on the East Coast here of Florida, up on the Gold Coast, up in Central Florida. We've had listeners all throughout Florida reach out to Welton Rayom. So if you have any of these issues you're dealing with, before you call that insurance company, never do that. Pick up the phone and call Welton Rayom. They can help you out. 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Yes. Don't forget, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. One way to support us there. You can even make a Bitcoin donation there at the same time. And, of course, smash the hell out of the like button. It's very important that you smash the like button. That gets the algorithms going. And Subaru of Pembroke Pines, by the way, proud sponsor of our program. Alan does excellent work there at Subaru Pembroke Pines. That's why they kick everybody's ass. You can use that QR code, get $500 off. If you're looking for the Forester right now, $249 a month for the 2025 model. The Outback, $229 a month, 0 down. Take advantage. They're at 16100 Pines Boulevard. The Crosstrek, they got a great selection, and the price is ridiculous. $189 a month. They've got financing as low as 1.9% on the 2025. Tell them that Big O sent you. The Legacy, the Subaru Legacy, $259 a month, 2.9% financing. The Ascent Premium, $359 a month, 1.9% financing. That is crazy. And when it comes to Subaru, customer ratings, number one. Reliability, number one. They're usually at the top of everybody's list. The Impreza, a great vehicle for your young person that is starting to drive, only $169 a month. That's affordable. 2.9% financing. Come on, man. Get on down there. Tell them that Big O sent you at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. And don't forget, use our code. Tell them, hey, Big O sent me. I want $500 off. And you will get it when you buy or lease a vehicle there at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. All right. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? Chet Miles. Talk some Minka Big O today. Minka played well. Everybody played well. The defense just brought it. Chet. What were Minka's stats today? Let me see here. Minka ended up with 6 solo tackles in the process. He was the third leading tackler on the team. Jack Jones, by the way, also had 6 tackles, 3 of them solo, but he had 2 tackles for losses. So, it's a good point you bring up, Chet. The DBs, Dante Trader, another week where Dante Trader, 5th-round pick, coming around, 6 tackles, 3 solo. I like that. Juju Brents was a nice pickup off the street. That's pretty good, man. Jason Marshall. So a lot of guys were contributing from the secondary on defense. So not only just Minka, but some other guys also brought it too. So great point by you. GC, thank you for the love there on the super chat. Appreciate you. Let's see. Big O says Justin Hansen. They need to figure out a way to give Weaver the head coaching job off record while dealing with the idiot McD. New GM might not want that, but he's legit and he might be Campbell 2.0. McD's a clown. He won't run next week. Watch. Well, we'll see. I would have done the whole Weaver switch after the 3rd game of the season. After the Buffalo loss, I would have fired McD and I would have made the switch with Weaver. But all of you out there were like, oh, Weaver sucks, his defense. And I'm like, yo, wait a minute, bro. He was handed a pile of shit. You got to wait for him to figure things out. Last year, he was handed a pile of shit with no rush, no pass rush. And by the end of the year, they were top 10 in scoring defense. The man's a good coach. Give him a little bit to figure things out. Guess what he's done? He's figured it out. And I told you guys in the preseason that Weaver's defense is going to struggle in the first half because he has to figure shit out. And once he figures it out, then he'll get the max out of him. And that's what he's doing. He's a damn good coach, bro. Damn good coach. The problem is we live in a microwave society and we want instant gratification. And as the years pile on of losing, it gets even more demanding and more desperate by our fan base. It's just the way it goes. All right, let's rock and roll. Chris Perkins is ready to go in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins postgame report.
Time to go to the locker room, Miami Dolphins fans. Let's find out what's percolating with the one and only Chris Perkins in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins postgame report.
All right, Percolator. I did not see that coming, bro. I did not see that coming. That was one hell of a performance. Mike McDaniel coached a respectable game, was a real good game overall. Weaver and his bunch have been turning the corner now for several weeks now. Just, man, everybody played pretty good, man. Few mistakes, and man, I just didn't see this coming, my man. I did not.
No, Big O, this is the second time in 3 games that I'm going to say this. This is the team that I thought I was going to see coming out of training camp. And you know, what we saw today wasn't that real big play offense that we saw in 2022 and 2023. There were big plays. Achane had 2 big runs and Waddle had a big pass, but this wasn't that team. This was a steady butt kicking of Buffalo, a game where it was coached well. They played well on offense. They played well on defense. They did the little things. They did the big things. They won the turnover battle. They limited Cook. They limited Josh Allen. They were able to run the ball effectively. They stuck with the run. They were patient. They did all the things that I thought they were going to do coming out of training camp. Front 7, making life tough on Buffalo on the ground and through the air. Zach Sealer gets on the board with a sack. Bradley Chubb has his sack. We saw Ife Melifonwu with a turnover. Jordan Brooks with a turnover. You know, we saw a bunch of good things out there from this team. Nothing spectacular, nothing that you said, oh, I didn't know they could do that. This was a bunch of stuff you thought that they could do. You questioned whether they could do it on a consistent basis. Right. But I thought this was stuff that they could have been doing all season long.
Yeah, and, you know, you got backups all over the place.
Yep.
By the way, we're watching that around the league. A lot of people have backups, and they find ways to, you know, make them productive, and that's what they've done. Like I was just talking about it before you came on. You know, you got to give Weaver a lot of credit, dude. He was getting like a lot of heat from people at the beginning of the year, just like last year, because he has been given incomplete defenses every year. Last year, no pass rush. This year, no secondary. Jesus Christ, dude. The man's got to adjust. And what a marvelous job of adjusting he has done.
Yeah. This is a guy who it took him a while to figure out what he could and could not do with this defense. And you knew that the cornerbacks were going to struggle. I mean, you knew that just because of how late it was that they traded Jalen Ramsey and you know, they had gotten rid of Fuller. Kader Kohu had the injury. And so that was another big thing that they had to overcome. But look, you know, these cornerbacks have been okay. And even when you saw that Rasul wasn't out there today, Rasul Douglas, he had foot and ankle injuries. You saw Juju Brent step up and turn in a good performance, you know. And you know, when we had asked Anthony Weaver before what was the likely scenario if Rasul Douglas couldn't play, he led us to believe, in a wise coaching move by him, that Ethan Bonner was going to be the guy who was going to get some time. No, it was Juju Brents, and Juju Brents did a nice job out there. So, you know, this is a guy who had to get to know his personnel and, again, know what the limitations were, know what the strengths were. I thought that front 7 was definitely going to be a strength. It turns out that it wasn't a strength early in the season. It is starting to come around now, but he had to get to know what he could and couldn't do with that defense, and now it seems like he's getting a better grip on the defense's strengths and weaknesses, and we're seeing the results out there.
Yeah, except for Grant, he's not really good with directions.
Well, you know, you give the rooks, you give the rook
on the turnover. He's like, yeah, we got it. No, we're going that way, bro. We're going that way.
You give the rook a little time, Big O.
I was funny. It's funny.
You know, yeah.
By the way, because Furones didn't catch it. Did you catch Brunskill laying a block on his knees?
No, I didn't.
On one of that, go back and watch that big Achane run. Go show it to him there, Sean. I'm sure you got it right there because you pulled it up quickly. Show this man this block. I posted it on Twitter. He falls, and he has the wherewithal to get up on his knees to lay that key block so Achane can go past him.
Yep. Brunskill has been Brunskill has been a really good find. Good guy to talk to in the locker room, by the way. Also, he's a guy who will extol the virtues of San Diego, his hometown. I've talked to him at length about what is he like better, San Diego or Miami. But he's a good guy. He's a good veteran. And look, a couple of weeks ago, we do our stock up, stock down, and with the report card, and I gave the stock down to the reserve tight ends. And I said, I know this is a little harsh because you're a reserve for a reason, but if a guard can do your job better than you, you better take stock in what you're doing. And Brunskill has been a good blocker. He's been a good tight end or sixth offensive lineman. They, tight end really for most intents and purposes. And he's a guy who has good awareness, good physicality. He's not extremely great at any one thing, but he's a professional, he's a veteran, and he knows how to get the job done, and that's what he's been doing.
Well, he knows how to block on his knees.
That's right.
I mean, Eichenberg does breakdancing when he falls on the floor. He's spinning, doing a pause, holding his nuts, all that kind of stuff. So we should play some breakdancing music for Eichenberg, but I give Brunskill a lot of credit, bro. You thought he was out of that play, and he fought to stay in. And I go, oh, my God, I got to take a picture of this. When I saw that, I go, oh, my God, that was a hell of a play by him. And he beat up Achane, dude, because that guy would have gotten to Achane easily. Yep. He would have gotten to Achane. And that was a hell of a play on his part. And, again, it's nice to see, the right side is a bunch of backups. Yep. Nobody thought that these injuries would be this bad, dude, with Austin Jackson and Daniels. This is season ending is what it's going to end up becoming with those guys.
Yeah, they've been out half the season already. I mean, heck, the same thing is true for Jason Sanders. But yeah, this offensive line, Big O, for them to be able to clear the way for Achane to rush for, and I can't remember what he rushed for, but
74 yards.
22. Okay, I was going to say 176, but 174. Yeah, that is an excellent job by that offensive line, and nice job again by Mike McDaniel sticking to the run. But
Zero sacks.
Is it right? Yeah. I mean, that's right. That's a great job by that offensive line. That Tua had time to pass, and the whole pass protection package, not just the offensive line, but mainly the offensive line. They did a great job. This was a good, clean game for this team, and I can't emphasize clean enough times because they have beaten themselves with penalties and operational errors, delay a game, and personnel, getting them in and out of the huddle.
They opened the game with one of those goofs, using the timeout. Even though it was a bullshit call, you can't use your timeout there to get the extra. You got to move on. You got to turn the page. Yeah. And they didn't do that. Just like the Chubb call was bullshit too later on. That saved Buffalo that drive. They wouldn't have gotten that touchdown if it wasn't for that penalty. Yep. So Miami would have stopped them there, and that was but it's going to happen. But he, McDaniel can't lose his focus at that moment. He's got to turn the page, and in the next play and in between, mother F the referees about what's going on. You know what I mean? Because you weren't going to win that fight, and that was luckily again the little mistakes they made weren't ones that burned them at all in the game.
No. They were able to overcome, and they used all three of those timeouts pretty quickly in the first half. But, look, being able to stop that Buffalo drive, in the second half, and, that was one of the big keys to the game. So this was a team that was able to find itself in critical moments. Again, something that we haven't seen from this team this season, that in those critical moments, they've committed mistakes. It's been blown coverages or penalties or things like that. And we didn't see that today. This is what this team could have done. When you look at the Atlanta game and you look at the Buffalo game, I'm not sure that they would have, beaten Indianapolis if they'd have played that way, for instance, but it would have been a better showing. I think they would have definitely held that 17-0 lead against Carolina, right? The way that they played against Atlanta and the way that they played against Buffalo today. And that's what I wanted to see with this team. I didn't think that they were going to make the playoffs when I predicted them to win 9 games this season. I don't think 9 is going to get you in. but I thought that they would have fulfilled their potential. And to me, that's a very important thing. I don't think that any of Mike McDaniel's teams have fulfilled their potential. I think they have all underachieved and they have all disappointed. And I thought if this team won 9 games, it would have fulfilled its potential. We'll see what they end up winning. I'm one Big O who says I do want to see them win as many games as possible. Screw a draft pick. I want to know who can play and who can't play. What do you have going into free agency and the draft? Who do you need to replace? Who can you roll with? That's what I want to see. It's not time to try to lose to get a better draft pick. And by the way,
that's do shit for you, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I've said for over 20 years on this show, because I've learned over time, it's not where you pick,
right?
It's who you pick.
100%.
You're going to be in the moment and you're going to go, do I take Anquan Bolden or do I take Eddie Moore? Well, you're the asshole. You took Eddie Moore, and okay, do I need Robin Senline? Am I going to Anthony Carter for Robin Senline? No, asshole. Make that.
Yeah.
You look, I was never a Herbert guy because for me, he's an athletic Jeff George.
Yeah.
And Tua scared me because of the injuries.
Yeah.
You know who I wanted? The guy that's played like a Hall of Fame tackle for the Tampa Bay Bucks. That's
Tristan Wirfs.
That happens, yes. So it's up to you if you want to take Jamar Fletcher over Drew Brees.
Right.
That's your fault, dude.
Right.
You were there. You had the chance to take the player. And that's been the story of the Dolphins throughout their existence because they've really took it. They've had the number 2 pick. Did Jake Long change your Tua didn't change. Deion Jordan didn't change you. Ronnie Brown didn't change you. These are all top 5 picks, dude. Didn't change shit because if you don't have the general manager, if you don't have the head coach, if you don't have the personnel people, it just doesn't matter, dude. Sam Darnold is the best quarterback in the league right now, but when he was in the Jets, he was an effing joke.
Right. I've talked to Zach Wilson about this, about the reclamation projects from the first round picks. And we were saying that you have to have 3 things. You have to have player, coach, system. All 3 of those things, you have to have that 3-piece union. I'll tell you this also, Big O. A lot of the people that want the Dolphins to tank so that they can get a higher draft pick are looking at quarterback. And I'll say this, Big O. Number 1, I'm not sure what we have coming out of the draft in quarterbacks. I saw Francisco Mendoza on Saturday against Penn State. He looks great. I'm still not sure what you have there. I'm not sure what you have in the rest of this quarterback class with Dante Moore at Oregon, right, and Ty Simpson at Alabama.
Yeah, you know what I love about that perk? The same idiots that want you to lose all the games for Mendoza are the same exact idiots that wanted you to trade Waddle and Achane. So when you do get a young quarterback, he has nobody to throw to. And that, by the way, that really worked out for Tua in his first year.
Right.
Worked out for Tannehill in his first year. Like, do you people ever learn your damn lessons? You know
that's what I'm building up to, is that you're going to draft somebody in the top 5. He's going to be behind a bad offensive line. He's not going to have targets to throw to. You're going to ruin him, and then you're going to be pissed off at the GM or the coach. And it's like, no, this is what you wanted. So don't go down that path. If the quarterback is not there and you have a top 5 pick, continue down the road you started on 2 years ago and build on both sides of the line of scrimmage, right? You got Chop Robinson and Patrick Paul and Jonas Avai-Naya and Kenneth Grant. They're not all going to work out. We know this, but keep going down that path. And then when the quarterback pops up, you've got an infrastructure around him and you give him a better chance of success.
By the way, a bunch of people want to trade Waddle, and I'm like, and then I heard the announcer today say, I didn't realize this, that Waddle, since the Tyreek trade, is top 5 in yards in the NFL at wide receiver. So then he's doing his job. Why would you want to get rid of a guy that is actually doing his job, or Achane or anything like, so if you're going to move on from Tua, somebody else has got to be quarterback. Dude, watch the Buffalo Bills. Look at the example today. Tua made 2 bad decisions, okay? those deep balls.
Yep.
I'd rather, if you're sending a big receiver down there, okay, I'll take my chance with Cedric. I'll take my chance with Waller. I'll take my chance with Oronde Gadsden. I'll take my chance with a big receiver against two of their DBs to high point it, not with Waddle. That's a bad call. So they end up being two punts, basically.
Yes.
So they don't really kill you at all. But I still don't like the decision. I'd rather, if you have a Gesicki, whatever, a big guy down there, okay, Oronde Gadsden couldn't run faster than my grandmother, but I'll throw it downfield to Oronde Gadsden 10 out of 10 times, and he's going to catch it 10 out of 10 times. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So but look at Josh Allen. You put the weight of the world on him.
Right.
He has to carry your entire team.
Right.
And his two mistakes were the reasons why they lost the game.
Yeah.
He's the better player. We all know it. But that's why this game is a team game, because everybody else has to do their job.
Right.
And the same fan that wants to trade Waddle, the same fan that wants to lose every game, is the same fan that thinks the quarterback carries the entire team.
Yeah.
And that's a load of shit.
Right. I agree 100%. The quarterback is clearly the single biggest individual factor out there, but you've got to have other ways to win the game. You just do. You have to have a run game, or a defense, or an offensive line, or a secondary, or a pass rusher, some other element that you can go to, because at some point the quarterback is either going to be shut down or he's going to have a bad day. And then what? And I'll tell you this about Waddle. I especially wouldn't trade him to Buffalo. That's all Josh Allen needs is a great receiver. You're playing them 2 times a year, and then maybe in the playoffs. I'm not doing that. There's zero chance.
What was the difference in this offense today? Their receivers couldn't do shit.
Yep.
The receivers were not a factor. That they had to start getting the tight ends involved because they couldn't get their running game going. So then their receivers weren't good enough actually to make a difference overall against that secondary. It says a lot.
Right. Yeah. So I'm not trading off Waddle or HN. And I said that before the trade deadline, that you've got to keep some talent. You can't just empty out everything, because whoever comes in will have zero chance to win. You won't know if they can coach. You won't know if this guy is a good quarterback, or if this is a good offensive line, or anything, because there's no talent there. You've got to have some kind of talent. You've got to give yourself some type of a way to win games. Give yourself a chance.
And by the way, HN's one of the special talents in the entire league.
Yeah.
He's so special that he's the kind of back you give a second contract to.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, is to see what they do with HN at the end of this season. I don't want to see them get into a situation where they were with Christian Wilkins and Rob Hunt. I know it's apples and oranges, but you don't want these guys to go into the final year and then they have a good year and they're like, I'm out of here.
You
right. I'm going to get a lot more money out here. And the Dolphins are looking at them like, well, we can't afford them. And it's like, dude, draft and develop. You develop this guy. You drafted this guy. Keep him here. You know how he's going to develop and what he'll turn into better than anybody else in the league. You see him every day. Don't let him go. You need to do HN at the end of this season. Don't let him go in the next season.
By the way, are you traveling?
I'm not. Only Furones. Yeah, okay. I'm going to the Madrid of Texas, San Antonio, to see family.
Oh, there you go. Breaking, a short-term funding bill is now expected to receive enough support to reopen the government through January 31st. Means it would provide full year funding for SNAP and Veteran Affairs. So,
okay.
At least,
TSA and air traffic controllers can start finally getting a paycheck. You show up to work and you get paid for it. How about that?
Idiot parties can, fund, pay these people that deserve to get paid, bro. Come on, man.
Yep.
Working
exactly.
hard. So that's good news. That is definitely good news there. All right. So we saw what they did in Atlanta. Then they screwed it up in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Now they're back to doing what they did in Atlanta. Has Mike McDaniel learned his lesson? Will we see that against Washington?
I don't know, Big O. I don't know. After 3.5 years, I don't know. I'm hoping so, Big O, but 3.5 years tells me that he might go back to looking for big plays on offense and taking unwise timeouts and doing things and getting away from the run game and things like that. I hope that these things have driven home the message to Mike McDaniel. This is how I need to coach so I give my team a chance to win. We'll see. I honestly don't know, but I hope that we will see this against Washington.
I never thought I would say this, but he's had such a terrific year. God bless him. He's turned it around from his first 2 years. Miami desperately needs Julian Hill. Will he return for this game?
I saw him after the walking out of the locker room, and his walk looked good. So I'm hoping so. Julian is somebody that I'll often check in with in the locker room, but he hasn't even been in the locker room the last couple of weeks. So he's getting treatment. So hopefully he'll get back, because if you get Julian Hill plus Brunskill, well, now you've really got something working on that front. So we'll see.
And a pass catcher too. They
right.
Turned into he was Mr. Unreliable for 2 years.
Yep.
He's actually turned into a very good number 2 tight end this year. Actually, I like
he's
Julian Hill, and by the way, a complete tight end.
Yeah, he's shown some hands. I was joking with him after one of Waller's touchdowns. Might have been Waller's second touchdown of the season. I went to Julian. I was like, "Yo, man, you were open on that throw," and he laughed and he goes, "Yeah, we wanted to get it to Waller." And I laughed and I was like, "You should have had that." And he just laughed. But he's a really good guy. I did a column on him and his work with at-risk children and all of that. Really good guy. I hope the best for him. I hope we see him out there next week in Madrid, and I hope he continues to develop, because as you say, he is developing his game.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt he's a keeper from here on out. Are you expecting Chop to come back next week, or what do you think?
Chop is a guy who I've seen in the locker room also. He looks pretty good. He was out there at the tail end of the week doing stuff, but he wasn't in that red jersey practicing at that point. So I'm thinking that he's got a pretty good chance to play against the Commanders in Madrid, just from the way that he was walking and talking. I saw him after the game today in out of the locker room and in the hallway, and he looks lucid and all that kind of stuff. He doesn't look like he's in a fog or anything like that. So I would imagine that he gets out there and practices next week, and he's pretty close to playing. If he does, whether he plays or not, I think he's going to be really close.
All right, what do you got going on in the Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Well, you know what? I've got a bunch of stuff saved up for the week. So, tomorrow, I think I'm probably going to write just kind of this is the team that we thought we were going to see coming out of training camp. But I've got some stuff saved up on Joe Cardona, who is the long snapper, and he's a naval reservist. He went to the Naval Academy. He's a lieutenant commander in the Navy, so a salute to service, and just he's a guy who was a 5th round pick of New England. He was drafted by Bill Belichick in 2015, so I talked to him about that. He's won 2 Super Bowls. I've got something on Butch Berry, the offensive line coach. I've got something on Robert Prince, the wide receivers coach, who is a national 60-meter hurdle champion at I think Prince is 55 years old or something like that. So he does the kind of this senior Olympic thing. So I've got a few things saved up that I will unleash while the team is in Madrid, Big O.
Yeah, that's a name, Joe Cardona. I went in Spanish radio. I worked with a Joe Cardona back 30-something years ago. So that's funny. Follow him on Twitter at Chris Perk and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Perk, as always, appreciate your time, my man. We will catch up next week while we're in Madrid, by the way. You'll be.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, it's the only trip we're making this year. So I told everybody this would be the pinnacle of our season, is going to Madrid. So who knows, man? If we win against Madrid, that is the pinnacle, 2 in a row.
That's it. That's it. And 3 out of 4.
3 or 4, yeah. That would be the pinnacle. That would be the pinnacle. All right, Perk, man. Appreciate you.
All right, Big O.
Thank you. And don't forget EJD Construction, man. Eric is a beast. If you live in Dade or Broward County and you own a home or a business and you're looking for major home construction, major home remodeling, they can take care of you. You're looking to add a second floor, whatever it is you're looking to do, a pool, you name it, a gymnasium. I don't care what it is you're wanting to do. They can do it all for you. You want to build an entire house? In fact, we had a listener that had a fire, unfortunately, so they had to remediate the entire home. And they did that also. So they can do all of that. 305-433-4843. They are fully insured. So anyone that steps on your property and gets injured, you will not get sued. By the way, if you don't hire EJD Construction, make sure that people are fully insured. I would never have anybody on my show that isn't fully insured because I make sure of that, okay? I mean, Cutter's Edge Pro, fully insured. EJD Construction, fully insured. When people do this kind of work, you want to make sure they're fully insured. Why? Because I don't want to make sure that you're at risk at anything. So make sure if you're cutting corners and you're getting somebody on the cheap and they get injured in your property, they're going to end up suing you if they're not fully insured. That is a very key thing. So call EJD Construction. By the way, go to their website, ejdconstruction.com. You can also go to Instagram page at EJD Construction. You can see their quality work. I mean, they are absolutely amazing. Take advantage of it. They use shell construction in-house. That's how they keep the cost down low. So whatever it is, you need to redo the entire front yard and pavement and a fountain or whatever crazy idea you have, they can do it for you. EJD Construction, 305-433-4843.
You've been listening to the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins post-game report with the Sun Sentinel's Chris Perkins. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDConstruction.com is the custom home builder and contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
Don't forget, folks, Cash App or Venmo. You can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. You can even make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. By the way, we thank the great folks at Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines. You know, our family's had several Acuras. I've driven a TSX. My wife currently drives an RDX. My daughter had an RDX, folks. So we are well tested with Acuras. And by the way, they're also born and built here in America. And you can get the 2025 ADX, which is a beautiful vehicle, 4.9% financing for 60 months. It's the happy new model year going on right now at Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines. The Integra, $269 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. The RDX, $389 a month, 4.9% financing for 60 months, and the TLX, $389 a month, 4.9% financing for 60 months. And again, if you like the sports package, check out the TLX sports package. That thing is out of control. Make sure you tell Larry Schlossberg and Pat Nasto and Tony Stampone that Big O sent you. And if you own or lease an Acura, their service center led by Mike Chan is just absolutely amazing. They're at Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines. James Burke, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. Appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Juju Brents, man. I hope he's all right because he showed us a little something today. I like it, man. I like it. I like it. I like it. By the way, Cedric Wilson's onside grab, that was gutsy. Like he aggressively dove for that ball, and it could easily ricochet off of you. And, you know, I don't think they would have won anyway, but just props to him. Obviously, the Brunskill block on the knees was just awesome. There was just a lot of stuff that went on today that was so entertaining, dude. That throw that Tua got to NWI, and it looks like he may have trapped it, but the throw that Tua had to make in that tight window, the DB's all over him, and for Tua to put it right ahead of the DB and put it right in his hands, that was fantastic, dude. Very few guys can put it in there. That's why, I know the whole Tua thing is such a, whatever. But if you actually had like a real line in a running game and a tight end, he would be just fine, dude. Just fine. It wouldn't be a problem with Tua at all. But, that's just kind of the way it goes. That's what we're going to find out now. How you played against Atlanta, how you played against the Bills, and then you look at how you played against the Ravens. We know what the common denominator is in the wins, and we know what the common denominator is in the losses. So let's do it. And by the way, if you win against Washington, you have won 3 of 4. I know it doesn't mean anything. I know it's hurting draft and all that. We have no control over that, dude. They're going to do what they have to do. They're going to play how they have to play. They're not going to quit just because you want to quit. Okay? So Jordan Brooks is not a quitter. Tyrell Dodson, not a quitter. That guy came here last midseason and started to play well right from the get-go. You're not going to get Patrick Paul to quit. You're not going to get Aaron Brewer to quit. You're not getting Brunskill to quit. They want to play. And it's not so much that they're playing for Mike McDaniel or anything. I think you just got a lot of character guys that have some professionalism in them. And bless them for that. Bless them for that. They're getting paid. You should put in an honest day's work. So, let's see. What else do we have? I'm shocked Big O gets paid to talk about sports. 36 years now and counting, JC. And guess what? Not only that, I get to do it this is 6 years now on my own platform where I can do what I want, when I want, go where I want, on when I want. How do you like that? You know why? Because I have a lot of great people that are supporting me, listeners and great supporters, not assholes like you. See? That's why I'm still around. I'm still around because there's a lot of great people that want to listen to us. Unfortunately, an asshole like you, is what it is, JC. I'll be at Hialeah Park, by the way. 2nd floor poker room. So JC. So you can come listen to me in person if you want. Let's see. What else do we have? Robert French. Does Tua still lead the NFL in interceptions? Nope. It's Geno Smith to your unliking. Jeremy Dorsett. Big O, let's give the Dolphins a victory cigar. Jeremy, you ask, and Sean Stanley will deliver. Let's see. Actually, Juju Brents was picked up by Chris Greer weeks ago, bro. But, that's all right, Oscar. It's all right, bro. He's been here several weeks. That was, But, hey, man, listen, if somebody on Facebook gave you the misinformation or somewhere else, but Juju Brents is picked up by Chris Greer. But that's all right. Let's not leave the facts out, by the way. All the players that performed today were all by Chris Greer. Okay? Just in case. Let's just put it out there. No players were performing by Champ. None of them. These are all Chris Greer's talent. That it's up to the coach to actually mix it right. As you've noticed, like we said, when the coach mixes it right against Atlanta, it's the same talent. When he doesn't do it right against Baltimore, it's the same talent. You know what I'm saying? And as Chris Perkins just said on the interview, every year Mike McDaniel has underachieved with the talent given to him. But hey, you can pass on the misinformation that Juju Brents was picked by somebody else right off the street, and he just started this week and played. That is awesome. Anyway, Chuck Cooper says, couldn't find the 20th anniversary Perdomo this week. Well, the 10th anniversary is pretty good. The Sun Grown is awesome. I mean, there's a lot of Perdomo cigars that are really good, dude. Let's see. Big O, you watching the Jabroni game? Is it 35-7? Is he winning 35-7? That is awesome. Is Jabroni doing it again? You mean he hasn't turned into the frog yet? I am shocked, I gotta say. Yes, sir.
He's back in full form.
Oh, he's losing 35-7. 38-7. What a bunch of idiots with the whole Jabroni. Yeah, 11 of 22, 157 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. And Jabroni has rushed 4 times for 31 yards. Yeah, Jabroni is a Jabroni. But hey, listen, you can have people fall in love with Jabroni. And I explained it this week. I broke it down how his games were. It's just that the bar is so low there, and anything that somebody else does is all of a sudden just fine. But no, I'm not watching it. Yeah. I know who Jabroni is. The people in Arizona may not know. Some of the writers around the country may not know, but I know who Jabroni is. That's all right. It's all right, Oscar. I get it. It's all good, bro. Toxic Fart, thank you for the love, sir, on the super chat. I hate losing to FS Poo and to the Bills. Happy for the win today. I'm with you, man. I'm with you 100%. It's a beautiful thing to win and keep the winning going. That's all. I don't care about the draft anyways. Either you draft good players or you draft bad players. It really doesn't matter to me. If you don't have the right people in the top, and if you don't have the right owner, which we know we don't have the right owner, that's really our main problem, unfortunately. All right, folks, we are back tomorrow morning at 10. We'll be no, we're at 2:00. We are at Hialeah Park, actually, because normally it's Tuesday, but we're not here Tuesday. We're leaving. We're on the road. But I still may do a Tuesday show in the morning, a short one before I go off to Madrid. All right, and we'll have some fun. Appreciate all of you out there. Don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Same time, same place. Same bat channel.
You've been listening to our Dolphins post-game show with Big O. The broadcast is brought to you by Welton Rayom, Acura of Pembroke Pines, Hialeah Park Casino, RM Contractors, Toyota of Hollywood, Haineswear, Sloman's Home Security, BigCheeseMiami.com, EJD Construction. The broadcast is mastered by executive producer Sean Stanley. Thank you for supporting the platform and our fantastic sponsors. Go Fins!